So Modern Warfare, being a competitive online video game where I have to fight other real people, rage is bound to happen. I'm bound to get frustrated, right? I'm bound to have bad games, and that's just how it is. The only people I've met that never get irritated with video games are so terrible they don't even know what they should be mad about. So yeah, most gamers, they get angry, they get frustrated, and it's always interesting to see how people handle it. Sometimes I rant, sometimes I just yell, and sometimes I just take a deep breath, turn off the game, and I go do something else. And that's just something, you gotta do. You gotta do it because otherwise you lose a lot of equipment. I've talked to gamers that have gone through 7 controllers in a year because they get mad and they're like, oh yeah, I get so mad, I just break headsets sometimes, I just break controllers, I just smash my TV. And my thinking with those types of people is that you should take your disposable income and, talk to a therapist about your anger issue. But one question I haven't really asked myself is, where should I be directing my frustration? And with Modern Warfare, there are a decent amount of places to direct it. At skill-based matchmaking, terrible spawns, overused weapons. I mean, if you guys watch my live streams, you see how many unwinnable gunfights I get into against Kar 98s or MP5s. You see how many times I'll round a corner with my gun ready, I'll start shooting, and I'll be deleted off the face of the planet because I either wasn't using a meta weapon or wasn't using a marksman rifle. Those types of things irritate me. But I've decided to direct my anger a little bit differently when it comes to Modern Warfare. Now, it's easy to say, just control your rage, control your frustration, just don't be a bitch, just be happy. You can say that all you want, and I feel like a lot of the don't rage tips on YouTube come down to that. I mean, even one of my old don't rage videos was just about, go with the flow and don't worry about things. And as much as I agree that you should learn from everybody's takes on controlling frustration, it's still sort of like, outside of deep breathing and just trying to stay concentrated, you really shouldn't be repressing all of your emotions. You're a gamer, you're not a monk, you don't really have to worry about losing your inner peace. So don't repress your emotions, just have control over them. And that's the thing, guys, video games are an outlet. Some people use them to vent, I know I do. So it's really not a very smart piece of advice to be like, oh, well, just relax, or it's just a game. Of course it's just a game, and a game is just a collection of problems, and problems can cause frustration. We like to solve problems as human beings, we like to get better at things. That's really why we like video games. Referring to them as just that is the most moronic thing possible. I'm sorry, that's gonna sound super virgin-y, but it's like, hey, I get that it's a video game, I am not surprised that it's a piece of software, that it's an electronic toy, but it's one that I'm trying to get better at. It's one that I'm trying to learn from. It's one that I'm trying to enjoy my time with. And so frustrations are frustrations no matter where they come from. If you've had a bad day or you're just not tracking well, you can have a bad time eating a sandwich. So don't tell me that it's just a game. So because of Modern Warfare, I started thinking maybe it's not a good idea to repress my anger, but instead direct it somewhere. So yeah, the rest of this video will be me justifying a frustration, because that's the most mature thing I could think to do today. Now, this doesn't mean I'll never complain about anything else. This is just talking about what really pushes my buttons, okay? Bad spawns, for instance, they're terrible, but I can't do anything about them. And when I can't do anything about it, and the game should just know better, and it doesn't, I don't know. I can't let that ruin my experience. And then when it comes to weapon balance, that's another thing. Most of the weapons in Modern Warfare are usable and good. It just comes down to the players that want to do well, and I can't blame them. So, I just have to play the best of my abilities and sort of take on a sense of counterplay. And that comes down to my enemies as well, not just the weapons they're using. Tryhards jump shotting and drop shotting using marksman rifles, MP5s, M4s, just really overused stuff that deletes you very quickly. Or playstyles that are very, very annoying, like people that sit in corners with shotguns and shit like that. That stuff's annoying for sure, but you know what? That's the enemy trying to play the game to their strengths. That's an enemy trying to have their own fun. That's them trying to beat me, or trying to tilt me, just trying to irritate me. And since that's my goal when I play Call of Duty, my goal is to beat the enemy team, my goal is to at least tilt the enemy team. So yeah, I'm trying to piss off my enemies, I'm trying to kill them, I'm trying to tilt them. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. And so even when it gets really frustrating, it's still a frustration that makes sense. But there's one thing that doesn't make sense. Weapon balance, spawns, bad teammates, minimap design, any little thing I can mention, I can overlook it. There's one thing that I can't account for. There is one thing that I cannot adapt to. There is one fucking thing that simultaneously ruins the game while doubling my workload. making certain matches feel useless, just like a waste of my time in general. That's right, teammates. But more importantly, how they got there. You see, sometimes I crave challenging enemies in sweaty games. Sometimes I like to use overpowered weapons, and most of my spawns are good, and sometimes even a bad spawn can get me some kills. But there's one thing that's just painful all the way around. Incompetent teammates. Teammates that don't want to touch the objective. Teammates that are using the wrong weapon for the map because they decided that this incredibly sweaty game with streaks in the air was the time to level up their crossbow. Or they decided the largest hardpoint map in the game was a good place to use their melee weapon, and so I constantly get killed by an enemy just to look behind the enemy and see my teammate, who could have easily killed him with a gun, running up on him with a knife. Teammates that are oblivious, they don't have headphones, they don't even have eyes it seems like, because I'll die right next to a teammate and the teammate won't even look to see where I died from. The teammate won't even turn their perspective. There are teammates that just never use the minimap. In all match, they will shoot me when they see me. They just react to me every time by shooting like they don't look at the minimap at all. They don't pay attention to their surroundings at all. See, my issue isn't with noobs or bad players. My issue is with Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare clearly has some level of matchmaking manipulation, or skill-based matchmaking. So, I can see that a lot of my enemies seem to be about my skill level recently. I've noticed that many of them are just as good at winning gunfights as I am, and I rarely get to shoot at potatoes. I think maybe once per play session I get a potato lobby, which is fun, but it's once per play session. And that's fine, I don't go into Call of Duty to relax, like I said. My enemies are my enemies, they're gonna try to beat me, and I have to, beat them in my own ways. Whether I have to resort to being an asshole, or just decide to play better than them, that's what has to happen. But why, oh why, does Modern Warfare feel the need, and Call of Duty's previously as well, feel the need to make me babysit? Why am I the only person on my team that shoots down a kill streak? Why am I the only person on the team that pushes the objective? Why do I never see a teammate dying for a flag, but after we eventually capture the flag, all of the enemy team piles on it? Why is that the case? Why don't I have a teammate that goes for rotations in hardpoint? Why don't I have a teammate that goes for cutoffs but can actually win a gunfight? Why don't I have teammates that are capable of flashing an objective? One of the things my buddy and I noticed while playing Demolition on Scrapyard, none of our teammates would throw a frag or a flashbang at the bomb site. My buddy and I are getting flashed and blown up constantly by RPGs, frag grenades, C4s, concussions, and stuns. We're getting our asses slapped, and our teammates would simply refuse to use the equipment they're guaranteed no matter what. I have seen many teammates that are bad at head-to-head engagements, but none of them have the idea to throw a concussion or flashbang where they can predict an enemy's going to be, like on the objective for instance. I never see my teammates flash a contested hardpoint with a flashbang. I never see them tack insert outside of it, so in case they die, they can come right back. And the thing is, sometimes I get enemies that aren't very good, but they're driven. They are pushing the objective, they're making life hard for me, they're trying to cheese me a little bit with like an RPG or a shotgun or something. Maybe they're not exceptional, but they are making my life harder. Whereas I constantly see my teammates on the wrong side of the kill feed. Again, I don't mind there being bad players out in the world. If you're not good at Call of Duty, that's fine. Hopefully you get better. But why are you always on my team? The thing is, I also don't even get assertive teammates. I get teammates that crouch around, that won't push an engagement, they won't flashbang, they won't frag grenade, they won't throw an RPG towards an objective. They don't make a decision that benefits the team. They don't do anything. They sit and they wait. They're scared of getting shot. I don't understand. It's like maybe at my skill level, okay? Maybe at my skill level, at 1.5 KD, oh my god. Maybe those types of players that get that 1.5 KD, they take zero risks. They play incredibly campy, and that's what I'm running into on my teams? While my enemies are assertive and aggressive, and they want the objective and they don't give a shit what you do to it, like, those types of enemies are the ones I'm going up against. I feel like I'm fighting enemies that are practicing for main stage, while my teammates are scared of getting shot at in general. And my friends notice it too. Sometimes we'll play Kill Confirmed, a super simple casual game mode, and we will have teammates that will kill 3 people. Oh my god, thank god you got 3 kills. And then run past the tags. They won't grab the tags. Or we'll see enemies in Kill Confirmed that are playing it like it's an MLG match of fucking Hardpoint. Like, they're going at it with MP5s that are built for competitive gameplay. Again, my enemies want to win. I'm fine with that, but why don't my teammates want to win? And there's my issue. When it comes to Infinity Ward's stupidity, I can't do anything about that on a match-to-match basis. I still enjoy the game, so I'll just suck it up. When it comes to my enemies, I expect them to want to win, I expect them to do well, and I expect them to not let me relax. I'm not playing Animal Crossing, I'm playing Modern Warfare. But, at the same time, the random blueberries on my team don't seem to want to do the same thing to my enemies. They don't seem to want to push them and piss them off and tilt them. I have 3 to 4 terrible randoms consistently every match I play. Even my friends that aren't super above average COD players, even they do better than almost any random we get. So you know what, Infinity Ward? I want you to increase skill-based matchmaking, and I'll just accept that I have to sweat every game, but I would be so happy knowing that my teammates are doing the same. Anyway, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.